burned my bridges long ago. I lost the woman I love the most. The pound signs blinded my eyes. Girl, do you remember me? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys had a great week and have had a good start to your weekend. I can see you in the live chat room already, so hello to you guys in there. Let me give you a quick shout out. We have Tammy, Laugh Out Loud Can, Sue, Jennifer, Billy, Bob, Joe, Gail, Mark in there as well, Diamond Girl, Diane, Billy, Corey, Melody Rocks, Elaine, Jennifer, Cindy, Billy, Tammy, Laurie. Again, I think I'm just saying the same names. Oh, and there's Kevin in there as well. So yes, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday night. Let me skip that advert before it just interrupts everything. Okay, considering we've only just started. So let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So yeah, a huge thank you to these lovely people at the bottom of the screen. And you know who you are. They make everything possible on the channel, all of the analysis videos, of course, and the cover videos that I've done in the past as well. So yes, a massive thank you to you guys. Now, I will get up on screen I was going to say the likes goal, but it's not really the likes goal for tonight because I think last week we didn't hit the likes goal, so therefore we have a reset of the likes goal. And I couldn't decide what the reset number was going to be. So I've just put in a question mark. So we do not know. So whatever it is going to be tonight, you guys can maybe give me some numbers and then I can type it in as to what we're going to be aiming for as tonight's likes goal to then have Phil Jam number 267. So we are getting through them. So, oh, Ro says my dad hat got here today. So thank you for letting me know. Melody Rocks says 350. And it should be 100. I think 100 maybe is aiming a bit low. Angela says 400, 403. Tom says 395, and the problem with that is I'll have to try and remember the 395. I think 400 is maybe a nice round number to try and remember. Angela says 400 as well. And 450. Lisa says, I don't know what we had last week, but I think whatever we failed at was about 460 or something. So yeah, we might rein it in a little bit from there. And I tell you what, most people are saying 400, so let's go to 400. I'm gonna have to try and get this in the right place. There we go, 400 it is. So that is what we're going to be aiming for tonight. And let's get the likeometer up on screen to see where we are at. It says 2 214. So we're over halfway there already. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up already. It means we're looking for 186 more people to hit the thumbs up before the end of the live stream. So I will get into all the normal things that we do on the live streams, even though a lot of the stuff isn't really normal, because we can start talking about, you know, nutrition and aliens and who knows what else. But yeah, with things on the channel, I'm working at this project kind of behind the scenes. And I know that recently the video that I made on Youngblood, I say recently, that was last night. I did the video on Youngblood, which was about, you know, talking about Autotune live and all that kind of stuff. And I know that a lot of people have been discussing it in the comments section. And I mean, it is interesting reading comments, because I think a lot of people, if they have, I guess, knowledge in production, then they know what Autotune is and they know what pitch correction is. And I can see that people are making the same old argument, saying, oh, it's just exactly the same as all the other effects. And I've probably done multiple videos on this, that it's not a post-signal effect like everything else is. And I can see that people are having arguments all over the place. But it's a shame that, yeah, some people don't really understand that it's an effect. It isn't an effect, it's an affect. It's applied pre-signal. So it means that when you sing into a microphone, that signal gets changed, and then the audience hear the result of the changed signal. When you add reverb to something, it's not changing the signal, it's adding reverb to whatever the signal was in the first place. So yeah, that's why pitch correction and auto-tune are so unique, and I think why they're so divisive, where people have arguments about it, because, you know, if we're going to start talking about somebody playing the guitar and then what they're playing you don't actually hear is then converted into different notes, you think, well, what's the point in the person playing the guitar if we're not hearing what they're doing? So, yeah, because that would be a pre-signal change that's happened, a pre-signal affect. If I was playing, say, for example, I don't know where the notes are on my guitar, and I play a lead guitar solo, all the notes are wrong, but then I apply an effect or an affect that changes all of my notes to now be in key and make sense. And I think people would say, but that's now removed the ability of the guitarist, or lack of ability of the guitarist, and has changed it to something that didn't happen. So yeah, it's one of those, I don't know, one of those arguments or discussions that's going to be never ending. But for me, I mean, I've got a very, very simple point of view on it, that anything post-signal for me is absolutely fine, you know, and anything actually pre-signal that is done artistically, like will.i.am, for example, who's very open about using Autotune because he can't sing. So that's why he uses it, and he's very open about the use of it. So yeah, I have no problem with the artistic use of it. If an artist wants that to be their sound and the thing that they're known for, then yeah, absolutely fine. But I think the problem was, especially with last night's subject, you're talking about Youngblood and all the discussions online about authenticity and integrity and all that kind of stuff. When you start putting that into the equation, and then you're talking about auto-tune, especially if the person isn't open about it, I think maybe where it's hit a bit of a nerve is where you've got one singer using auto-tune singing with another singer who's had vocal surgery and is actually retired from singing, but comes out of retirement to do that performance and doesn't use anything to help him. For me, I don't know, there's a clear difference between those two, that one of them I would call rock and roll. That, you know, and that's Steven Tyler, by the way. I'd say that that's a rock and roll performance, that even though, you know, he's got, well, I was going to say vocal issues, but probably even more serious than that, actual, you know, problems with singing and the vocal cords coming together effectively and efficiently, but still doing it all fully live and not using any crutch to help him sing. I'd say that that's rock and roll. And then, yeah, on the other side of things, you've got the younger artist who doesn't have any vocal issues and is using a crutch to hit the notes. And that's what it is, really. I mean, that's all Autotune is. It's getting you to the notes. And if you're slightly off a note, it will get you closer to the note. And this is why, if you are going to be off a note by a semitone, as I showed in my video, your Autotune will snap you to that semitone. So you've got to have some kind of accuracy with your vocal. You've got to be close-ish to hit the notes. And when you don't get anywhere close to the notes, that's where you'll be a semitone off, because it'll snap it there. And I know that people will say, well, if you're going to be a semitone off the note you're trying to hit, then yeah, it might be a point at which you have to start working at your pitch and just take it back to basics and start working at it and practicing, because that's certainly what great singers do and great singers have done. And I think it's, for me, the future of the music industry, if we now start to get to a point where we're saying, don't worry about working at singing and pitch, because there'll be technology in the future that can do it for you. You think, well, how much of the voice is then going to be left after that? Because everyone's just going to be sounding exactly the same. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, this is why there are so many discussions about it. Now, the other thing, B says, how did we get those likes? I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, the number of likes has suddenly gone up to 909. What is happening? It's almost like, and I'm going to refresh the screen, because this is YouTube going absolutely crazy with the likeometer. I don't know, unless this is some kind of YouTube algorithm thing that's trying to boost the amount of people watching. I don't know. The people that I'm referring to shall remain nameless. Or it could be somebody who's buying likes for a live stream. I don't even know if that's possible, but I wouldn't put it past some channels that might do that. But it seems like the likes are going up in a uniform manner. I'm going to keep an eye on it, because sometimes it stays at a number for quite a long time. Like there, it just went up by 4, and I'm going to keep an eye on this to see what happens if it goes up by another maybe 4 or something. Maybe it's counting every one as 4. But then again, even still, how quickly would we ascend if it was 4 for every click? I don't know. Right, it seems like it's stuck at 922. Right, let me go. I'm going to refresh this so it'll disappear. Uh-oh. Okay, I just refreshed it, and it says we're at 927 likes. That's physically impossible for that to have happened. I'm going to have to try and get to the bottom of how this has happened. Let me click on analytics. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can views, because the views should. Oh, hang on. It says views 526 views, and 500 is 26. So yeah, I don't think there hasn't been 934 people watching. I mean, at most, people obviously coming in and out, it's been around, maybe 300 or 400. So yeah, not really sure what's going on here. But I mean, I don't know what happens with the likeometer. What happens? Does it go into 1,000? In which case, I'm going to have to make the likeometer box even wider. And I mean, it might be good actually to get. I don't know whether people. I don't think you can click the like button more than once, but it might be quite good. I'm going to skip that advert, to get a screenshot of this and just put it on Instagram or something, and just pretend that, yeah, just at 19 minutes into my live stream, there's 940 likes. But yeah, it looks like it's going to stay at that number. So who knows if we keep on getting the thumbs up. Maybe you guys can keep on hitting the thumbs up to see if we can get to the imaginary 1,000. To see what happens to the number, because I don't think, it's never been that high before. Right, let's get organised. And on screen, here we go. We have the donations tab because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. So, yeah, you don't have to donate for anything on the channel. But for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But you don't have to donate. So that's that out of the way. The other thing is, I'm going to get back to the whole Autotune thing, but not really talking about it much because I've already spoken about it for lots of time already. But yeah, getting back to donations, everything like that. Yeah, you don't have to donate. I know that some have come through, but I will jump into the super chat window in a moment. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about the project that I've got going on. And that's what I was going to be talking about, but then I got into talking about Youngblood and last night's video. But I'm going to be, getting into my project that I've got on the side. And there's another project that's happening next week. And it's not really my project. I've been invited to do something. But I can't actually say anything about it. And maybe I can say a little bit about it on tonight's live stream. But if you want to be kept in the loop for that, then head over to Patreon, patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus, which you can see here. We almost jumped into the cover of A Design for Life there because I was so wild with my click. I almost missed the box for the Patreon link. But there we go. Patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. And this thing that's happening next week that I might mention a little bit about a little bit later on. So the other thing, again, thank you guys for the donations. Actually, I'm going to get through those before I talk about my project that I'm working on at the moment, which again, you guys over on Patreon will know about. Paul's donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, howdy everybody, let's have fun tonight. Please spike the likes. All y'all, peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And Karen's donated $5 as well. And Karen says, greetings from beautiful Sacramento, California. Phil, just always wonder if the woman mentioned in Greed was a real relationship you had. Well, I mean, no. But the whole point of the song is really when somebody might get into, I don't know, or maybe come into a lot of money, but then their personality changes, and it's that's what Greed is all about as a song, and kind of what it was meant to mean. It wasn't really about a relationship. Only a little bit of it would be like imagining the person's made lots of money, and obviously they've made some decisions where they've burned all of their bridges, and this can even go for relationships as well. So then, the person in the song is saying, girl, do you remember me? Because obviously that's a bridge that's been burnt in a relationship that can be the same for lots of other relationships and family and professional people that you might know, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's not written from personal experience because I've never been in that situation. I'm just imagining what it might be like for some people, having seen some people, change a bit once things start becoming successful, or they make a lot of money, or then they're a celebrity, or whatever you want to refer to them as. So that's what Greed's about, really. Right, so Sue donated $9.99 as well, so thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, no questions asked. Wingers are amazing. Let's pass 1,000 likes. And there you go. It just about fits in. Oh, I don't know what is going on. What's happened is YouTube have probably thought, look, last time, well, technically Tuesday, we did have a Phil Jam. But they might be saying, look, last Saturday, they didn't have a Phil Jam, and YouTube thinks they really deserve one, so we're going to put in a ridiculous number of likes that's just ridiculously crazy, that's never happened before, to make sure that there is a Phil Jam. So yeah, I don't know where the number would be. And I mean, as we now, I'll tell you what is weird, because now we've got almost 500 people watching. Apparently, I think there's a gremlin in the system here. So if you're watching and you don't normally watch, say, let's come up with a keyword that the people can type in the live chat room for those people that aren't normally watching, because now 514 viewers. So the numbers or the number of viewers is going crazy now. That's what Bob says. So let's come up with a keyword. Let's just, in capital letters, write stream if you're watching this stream and you don't normally watch it, because I suppose that would be I guess an explanation for why the amount of likes has gone up there, or maybe just all the figures are weird. And I assure you that I I haven't paid a third-party company to pretend to be watching my streams or pretend to hit the thumbs up or anything like that. And oh, here we go, look at this. We've got Eamon who says stream, Nicole says stream, Jacqueline says stream, Gnome Sane says stream, Hoot64 stream, Elizabeth stream, Reality is stream, Card, what does that say? Sarah Dwen stream? And look at all these streams. Oh, then Corey says stream, but Corey, you're always here watching a stream, pretty much. So why are people now watching, saying that they're doing the stream? So Lisa, I'm talking towards the people, or I'm at least talking at the people, or to the people, probably a simpler way of saying it. I'm talking to the people who don't normally watch, because, yeah, now we're up to 600. Teresa says stream. Peter says stream. John says stream. This could be just a live stream of saying stream. So, yeah, it looks like we've got some people getting involved, and maybe this is why the likes are, I guess, if we're getting a lot of people now in that are boosting it. Kaylee says stream, Lynn says stream, Helen says stream, and just so you know, I am saying for the people that don't normally watch, just to type in stream. We've got Den in there as well, who says stream. Elizabeth says first time stream. So, I mean, yeah, this is great, because if you are tuning in and this is your first live stream, what we usually do on the live streams is we aim for a target. And as you can see tonight, we were aiming for 400. And now we're at 1,102. So it means that we have hit the target for tonight. And yeah, for new viewers, it means that I get the guitar out at the end of the live stream, which will be in like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. I'll bust out the guitar, and what happens is Joe sends me a random backing track. So I grab the guitar, listen to the backing track, and just try to play whatever I can over the top of the backing track. And that's the way that it works. So it's always a bit of fun for the end of the live stream. But yes, I'm not sure what YouTube is doing. Maybe it's deciding to let people know about the live stream, and generally what happens on YouTube is it always, I don't know, limits the amount of people that it tells at a particular time. So it might just have told a lot of people that I'm live streaming rather than the regular viewers who do tune in every Saturday and every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So that's the place to get involved if you want to tune in. And if you want to tune in the future, that would really help us out. It means I can bust out my guitar more and do more live streams with Phil Jams, which would be cool. We always put that at the end of the live stream. But yeah, anyway, projects. What I was going to talk about was the vocal coach project that I've got going on at the moment. And this is something that I'm putting together in response to AI and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, to a certain extent, the video that I'm going to be working on isn't going to include auto-tune or pitch correction or anything like that. Like I said, kind of pre-signal affects. we're just going to be featuring voices that are fully natural, and these voices will be voices of prominent vocal coaches on YouTube. So I've sent out messages and had a really good response, actually. And this is something that I'm going to be putting together. And I can just see Sue's done a message in there. Oh, I didn't get through all the donations, but I will do that. Will do that in a second. So yeah, we have. I mean, so far, the legend that is Brett Manning is going to be involved in that particular video, which is great, amazing. And then we've got Chris Lipe as well, who's going to be involved with that, which is great. We've got Dr. Dan from Dr. Dan's Voice Essentials on YouTube as well, which is amazing. So I've sent out a lot of emails. We've got the Fairy Voice Mother as well, who responded yesterday, and I just kind of sent her the details. But it's getting vocal coaches involved and all together, really, to perform a live unedited vocal. When I say live, obviously it's been recorded before, but what I'm talking about is a vocal into the microphone like I'm talking here. That is what's going to be going on. So you're going to have vocal coaches who are just singing naturally, and I'm very much into that. And I think it'll be great just to put the focus on the natural voice, and especially with the vocal coaches who are passionate about singing and teaching a particular way. And I have sent out other emails as well. We've got Tim Welch who's going to be involved as well. I'm just going to skip this advert while that tries to get involved. So at the moment, I've got quite a. I mean, I could probably do the video now. I've got quite a nice roster of vocalists, but some of the coaches, like I know that a lot of people have requested for me to contact, I think, Beth Roars, and I have contacted her through kind of email and Instagram, but I haven't heard anything back. And the Charismatic Voice as well on YouTube, who I believe has been in the chat room of this live stream in the past, one of my previous live streams, but again, I haven't got any reply from her through email or Instagram. So I don't know if you guys want those particular vocal coaches to be involved with this project, then maybe you can go and leave comments or do something on their pages to let them know that I'm trying to get hold of them, just to give them a segment. Because what's going to happen is, because I've had a really positive response from lots of different vocal coaches, it means that I'm going to be taking sections of each of their performances. So, I mean, if I was doing a full song, it meant that if you're doing 3 or 4 minutes per vocal coach, it's going to go on for kind of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. So I think it's going to be better just to cut things down, but again, just feature parts of their totally natural performances, which is going to be really cool because it's something that I can link in with Authentic Vocal as well, and share over on the YouTube channel over there and on Instagram. So that's an exciting thing that I'm working on at the moment, but again, it's just a side project that I've given myself. Just given myself more work. Now, the other thing is, I don't know how much I can say about this, but I've been and it might not even happen, even though it should probably happen because of the amount of contact there's been about it. But again, might not happen, but if it does happen, it'll be happening next week. And I can't say too much about it, other than I have been contacted to talk about something. And the thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be for a TV show that I can't mention. But the TV show is one of the terrestrial channels. Is that the right way to say it? But it's one of the main channels in the UK. So we have 5 channels, and it's on one of those channels that this particular show is going to be on, and it is music related. I can't say a lot about it, but because of what I do on the channel, and looking at voices and some of the best voices of all time, and having looked at particular voices quite a lot, I have been invited to go and talk about a particular very well known singer, and just chat to that or chat to the crew or the production team, and be filmed while talking about that particular singer for a show that will be happening later in the year. And no, it's not Skinwalker Ranch. So just so you know that. And I'm not sure that I would do something for Skinwalker Ranch if it involved me having to actually go over to the USA to Skinwalker Ranch, because I think there might be something funny going on over there. So I'll keep my distance. Maybe if they did, I mean, I don't know if aliens can go down the internet, but maybe if they wanted to do something, you know, across the internet, maybe a Zoom call or something from Skinwalker Ranch, then yeah, maybe I could do that. I mean, that'd be fun. Fun for a live stream, especially for people tuning in that haven't watched my live stream before, and suddenly it's Skinwalker Ranch and we're talking about aliens. So yeah, not music related at all. But the thing that I have been asked to do is, yeah, going to be happening next week. I'm going to be getting more details about it on Monday, but it's due to happen next week. And yeah, it is going to be on TV, which is going to be great. And it will be the first thing that I've ever done, I would say, on UK TV for what I do. I have been interviewed on lots of different channels, and like Graceland magazine, for example, to do with Elvis Presley, and the recently we had the Matt Monro estate, and an interview for them, talking about Matt's voice and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's the first kind of TV thing that I've been involved with, but more than happy to get involved and talk about singers and their voices. And yeah, I think the more is out there, especially in the public's consciousness, like getting on, and by the way, national TV, getting on national TV talking about natural singers and natural voices is something that I'm more than happy to do. And just for people to get an appreciation of particular artists and their voices and how they are so unique and how they achieve what they do with their voices, considering that what I'm going to be talking about isn't auto-tune, pitch correction or anything like that. It is going to be the natural human voice, and a particular artist that they want to focus on, and for me to explain some things about it. So that'll be interesting. I think probably it's just going to be a small part of the show, but what I will do, I can't say anything about it now because it's all very secret before then being announced and then released on TV, but as soon as I can say anything about it, then I will. And I'll most likely upload some stuff to Patreon and maybe Instagram. And I might even be able to take clips from the show as well. Who knows? That's something that I'll let you guys see in the future. So exciting stuff happening next week. And that just means me going into London and going to a prestigious studio. But I don't want to say too much because, I have specifically been told not to say anything about it. So as long as I just leave it all to speculation, the thing, if I mentioned kind of where the studio was or which studio it was, people could then look up, right, well, what's happening there next week and what are they filming and what shows are going to be for? And so I've been told not to say anything about it. So we'll just leave it as speculation. And again, I always, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. So, it's always something that might happen, might not happen. But it is good to be involved in any kind of way for those kind of projects that are kind of national rather than just me on my channel on YouTube. And I would say that generally here in the UK, I'd say that it tends to be less of the audience tuning in from the UK and more of the audience from other countries, and say maybe 60 to 70% over in the USA, and the rest of it maybe 20% in the UK and then 10% of other countries. So or maybe there's a bit more in the UK. Maybe I'm not not being as accurate as I can be with the numbers. I don't really look into the analytics too much, but it'd be great to get things out there a little bit more in the UK as well. So anyway, we have a few more donations in the super chat window, so thank you guys for this. And let's now, I mean, we have hit 1,139 likes in in that likeometer box. It's never been that high before, but I mean, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up if you can. That'd be very much appreciated, which means that, yeah, the video and the live stream will get out there a little bit more if there's more interaction to do with the live stream. So thank you guys for watching and getting involved. And yeah, getting back into the super chat window, because we had another donation. Oh, hang on, I'm going to have to scroll up for this. We had another donation. I think we got to Sue. No questions asked. Yep. And then Malteser donated $1.99. So thank you for that. And the message is, it was me. I caused a rupture in the universe. So thank you for that, Malteser. Sue donated $9.99 again, so thank you for that. And the message is, if another content creator is raiding your stream with his or her audience, sound off. Who are you? Question mark with a laughing face. So thank you for that, Sue. And yeah, we don't know who it is in that live chat room, but maybe they'll come clean either during the live stream or later on. Outside of the live stream on the channel at some point, or they might give me an email. But yeah, we will see. I mean, it is entirely random as to, I mean, you could say, well, there are quite a lot of subscribers out there. So if YouTube has just suddenly decided to tell more people about the live stream, then that can be a reason for it. Because if, you know, technically if they wanted to, they could send out, what, 504,000 notifications. Not that they do that, but they could do if they wanted to. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that. So Malteser has donated $9.99. It says, you use hair gel, then hairspray before the live stream. Correct. So thank you for that. And no, I don't use hair gel. I never use hair gel. I think hair gel is something that maybe I used when I was 13 or 14 and I had short hair. And yeah, it kind of made the hair go kind of, you know, it looked like it was wet all the time, and it kind of made it just go solid. So yeah, I don't use hair gel, but if my hair is in a position where I can see and it doesn't look too bad, then I use hairspray to try and stop it from moving. So that's what I've done tonight. The hair was in a position where I thought, right, it's okay. And I mean, getting it into a position or it falling in a position that seems okay is like a 1 in a million thing. So when it does happen, yeah, I do use hairspray to try and keep it in position. And luckily, yeah, no wind inside, so it is fine. But thank you for that. Jan has donated 20 Norwegian kroner, so thank you for that. And oh, the message is blinded by the light, or blinded by the light. So thank you for that, Jan. And Jennifer's donated $7 as well. Thank you for that, Jennifer. The message is, let me just skip this advert. The message is, Phil, did you know that Travis of Skinwalker Ranch sings and plays guitar? We can sing for E.T. Hugs. So thank you for that. And no, I didn't know that. And well, that would certainly be an excuse to get some kind of Skinwalker Ranch content on the channel, to get Travis from Skinwalker Ranch to talk about guitar playing or singing, or, you know, I don't know. It depends how much he plays the guitar, or, you know, whether he wants to, you know, if he is, I don't know, a particular standard. You know, I teach guitar, so maybe he wants to come online during a live stream and have some kind of guitar lesson. That'd be fun. And while talking about aliens. So anyway, thank you for that, Jennifer. Pegasus 2.0's donated $5. So thank you for that. And the message is, I think it's the crew from 3i/Atlas watching. So thank you for that, Pegasus 2.0. Right, there have been some donations over in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for these. And yeah, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. 1,157 likes. The problem with this is this is going to set a record that's going to be impossible to try and beat in the future. Unless, maybe, yeah, things are, next week on this particular show go quite well, and then, it's shown nationally, and maybe people will type in, who I am and what I do, and they might check out the channel, because I don't think the channel's ever got national exposure. It's always just word of mouth, and then some of the videos that I've done that have kind of gone a bit viral, and then people tend to get involved and subscribe from that point of view. But anyway, and jumping into the PayPal window, we had a donation from Bruce, so thank you for that, Bruce, and this is for £4, and that's a straight up donation. And we had another donation from Norma for £10, so thank you for that, and that's a straight up donation as well, so no message with that. And it's taken me back to my inbox, which is really annoying, so I have to now try and get to the next donation. I think it's the Souls Compass who has donated £2, so thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, imagine you are the frontman of your dream band and you get to choose your fellow band mates from amazing musicians, either dead or alive. Who do you pick and why? Congratulations on all your success. So thank you for that. And I think I've been asked this before, but I think pretty much the answer that I would have given before, it might not have been, but I think Jimi Hendrix was in the band somewhere. And I think before I said that I'll be quite happy just playing a bit of rhythm guitar in the background and maybe doing some vocals, harmonies. That'll suit me fine. But so what? I mean, I'll just use this as an excuse to have Jimi Hendrix, Noel Redding, and Mitch Mitchell. So that's basically it. And then I just kind of join in with that. But if I were, looking for more kind of pop-based stuff, Phil Collins could have on drums. Mark King, I think I've mentioned Mark before, in terms of being in this dream lineup on bass. And who, Eddie Van Halen on guitar. Who wouldn't choose Eddie on guitar? So yeah, and then I don't know whether I'd be there kind of singing and just playing a bit of rhythm, just listening to my own band, just turning around and watching. So then I start thinking about, but what, it would be cool to play with the Beatles. So just replace all of the members of the band with the Beatles, but it depends that obviously we'd have to go back to kind of the early to the mid 60s, and I'd have to kind of, I don't know whether I would look like I'm in the right place. Sometimes my hair does look a bit Beatleified when the fringe goes all wrong and all kind of goes in the wrong direction, or all in the same direction. I do look like a bit of a Beatle, but just with longer side bits. So might work. Anyway, I could keep on chopping and changing instrumentalists and members of the band for years, but thank you for that. And then we had another donation. This is a little bit annoying because it keeps on taking me back to, I don't know why. Actually, I saw a video with somebody that's only just released it saying, getting to grips with the new Outlook. And this is what I use, Outlook. And it has changed so that when you click on the button, it no longer takes you to the next email. It takes you back to your inbox. It's like, well, no, I want to get to the next message. I don't want to go back to my inbox. But anyway, hopefully I haven't missed anybody out. Cindy's donated £25, so thank you for that. And the message is, any word from the AI Cowboy recently? Has he released a concept album about you yet? So thank you for that, Cindy. And not to my knowledge, but I'm not really that interested in keeping tabs on that whole situation. The last video that I did was probably going to be the last one that I do, just explaining things about it. Is really important just to be honest about what you're uploading and AI. Not to say that I haven't received a lot of messages from people who are almost kind of picking my brain as to what AI is, and whether if you write lyrics and put that into AI, whether that is your song, whether you can say that that's your song. And other people saying that, I play guitar and I only use AI to make the song and for the production. And I think a lot of people maybe don't really understand what putting a song together yourself is. It means writing the whole song. It means putting it together from a tempo perspective, the chord progression, everything that happens in that song is a conscious decision by you as the songwriter, as the creator of that song. So anything that's in there that you didn't come up with, if you're using AI to come up with stuff that you can't think of, then that's not you creating it. And it is difficult. And I think maybe it's a younger generation thing, that they don't really understand what creating something yourself is, because they're used to typing something in and then getting the answer or getting a product, and they think that that's now what creating a song is. That, well, I typed it in, so then what I got back was my creation. It's like, well, it's not your creation, it's from AI. So there was somebody else, I saw this comment, and somebody said, putting prompts into AI and then saying that it's your song or that you own the song is like giving ingredients to a chef and then saying that you cooked the meal, whatever it ends up to be. And then somebody else said, it's not even that. It's asking a chef to come up with the kind of meal that you want. So you say, oh, I want a meal made with fish that tastes really nice. And then the chef does it all and produces it. And then you say to people, look at what I've cooked. And, this is what I've made. So, but again, and I gave that analogy, if that's the right word, about me not being a photographer, but I can take a picture and give that to AI and say, look, I want a really professional looking picture that looks like what I've just taken, and then it will come back with a totally different picture but along the same lines that just looks amazing, and then me saying that I'm a photographer because I told AI what I wanted. So just telling AI what you want doesn't make it something that you've created, or doesn't then give you saying that these are my songs, implying that you're a songwriter, but what you've done. I think everybody who gets that creation back and are now listening to it, they know what they haven't created in that particular song that they've been given back. They might have written the lyrics, they might have even put a melody in it, but they will know that they haven't decided on the tempo, or they haven't decided even on the groove, if AI is going to put a particular groove into it. And then people will say, oh yeah, but no, I said mid-tempo. It's like, but that's still not saying mid-tempo. That covers a whole range of different tempos that could be maybe 10 or 20 beats per minute variation, but they're still considered mid-tempo. You're still giving it a basic prompt and then getting something very specific back. So if you say, right, I want it to be a moderate tempo, you say, well, what is the tempo going to be? And they'll say, well, of course, I don't know. I'm waiting for AI just to create it all for me. But anyway, moving on. Thank you for that, Cindy. And Cindy donated again, £15. Thank you for that. The message is, it seems auto-tune and pitch correction are getting more subtle and less apparent now. I know that you can hear the processing, but are you concerned that there will come a time when you will not be able to conclusively show the objective evidence on the pitch graph? So thank you for that. And I mean, if I wanted to, like say for example, there were companies who wanted to develop the most convincing pitch correction or auto-tune live that they wanted to, then I would know how to do that. I wouldn't know how to program it. I don't have that knowledge. But there are particular things that I know that if I were creating it, you might still hear the processing sound. And that's the real killer, that it's very difficult to edit a signal without affecting the the quality of it. With it's a destructive process. As soon as you change something, you can hear that it's been changed. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this is what they're working towards. So it's getting kind of better and better that through Autotune Live they can start to try and make it move more smoothly. The only problem is that there's gonna I'm not even gonna say anymore, because I'm gonna give companies an idea, like a really good idea of how to program their Autotune to not be noticeable. So yeah, I won't say anything on it, but I'm sure that in the future it will improve. And generally what happens is when something's pointed out, for example, about Youngblood and using Autotune Live, what happens is the record companies and the technology companies double down on the technology because they've been effectively found out. So they double down on the technology and now try to make it like they're not going to get found out. It's the same thing as miming and lip syncing, as it is over in the USA. Exactly the same as that. When somebody has been exposed for lip syncing or miming, what happens is you then don't see the whole industry change to do everything fully live. They now get better at hiding it. It's always the way that they want to not have to do it. In an ideal world, they would have everybody faking everything all the time so that they could make the maximum amount of money for minimum input. You can just play the studio sound. And again, the studio recording, if they can go into the studio and use auto-tune and pitch correction, again, it means they're doing less work. Something that might take, especially if you haven't got a great singer, it might take hours for them to be able to sing the melody accurately. But now they might be able to do it in half an hour or an hour because they just do it through once and they just edit it all to then be in tune. So yeah, it means that you're cutting the amount of work you've got to do and you're making the same amount of money because you're not telling people what they're paying for. They're all assuming that it is either live vocals or not lip synced, mimed, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, right, let's move on quickly because yes, 3 minutes to midnight here. And 1,189 likes. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. If you can continue to do that, that'd be very much appreciated. We'll see where we can end up. Right. Now, Lynn's donated £75. Thank you for that. Lynn, the message is, Phil, loved how you incorporated Judge Judy and the doctrine of clean hands in your response analysis to AI Cowboy's original composition. And that's original in inverted commas. About Wings of Pegasus, thank you for calling out the misuse of AI. So, no problem. I'll continue to do that. And, yeah, I mean, tonight's live stream is already getting away from us. But tomorrow night's video, look out for that. Because it is unequivocally the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And I can't even believe, and you'll get this sense in the video, I can't even believe what I'm listening to exists. So, yeah, I mean, it's both kind of amazing in different ways in that it's an artist and people and the official channel releasing something that has absolutely no place in the world. So, anyway, yeah, look out for that video tomorrow night. It's going to be unbelievable. It's by far the most unbelievable thing I've heard released when we're talking about pitch correction, auto-tune, and especially with artists that are no longer with us, that for some reason, I don't know why, but just in a desperate attempt to create new content, they start messing with recordings from years ago, and because they think, oh, well, if we tune it all or if we change it all, it means it's new, we can upload it and get more views and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is an absolutely unbelievable case we're going to be looking at tomorrow night. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Lynn. I'm going to move things along quickly. Amy's donated £40. Thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, this is an animal question. We know Sir Brian May is working to save badgers in the UK. Have you ever seen a badger in the wild? Are they scary? Oh, I might have seen a badger. I think maybe only when I'm driving, because here in the UK. And this is something that I do at night. I drive very slowly because I'm always worried, especially going through, woodland and all that kind of stuff. And we do have signs here that say, deer for 3 miles or something. So it means that there might be deer that run out into the road, especially at night, and especially kind of very late at night, early morning. So yeah, I always drive at a sensible speed. And then if somebody overtakes me, I always think, what an idiot. Because if a deer runs out in front of your car and you're doing 60 or 70 miles an hour, guess what? Well, the deer is going to be no more, but you're probably going to be no more as well, because controlling your car after that kind of impact is going to be, just impossible. So anyway, getting back into it, I think I have seen a badger, but only from my car. And no, it wasn't very scary because I was in my car. What was a bit scary when I was going for a run was surprising a fox, and I didn't know the fox was there. And if you've ever heard a fox scream, it's just like the worst sound ever anyway. But imagine being right next to it, not realizing that there's a fox in this particular bush that I was just running past it on a run. So yeah, that gave me one hell of an adrenaline boost for the run. So anyway, moving on. Jackie's donated £1.42. Thank you for that. But Jacqueline says, I go by Jacqueline. Anyway, I have braces currently on my teeth. Have you ever had them? So yes, I had braces when I was a kid. I don't know how long for. Quite a long time, I think. But I think it's something that at the time, when you're at school, it's a bit annoying because, you struggle to speak and you feel a bit self-conscious about having braces. But I mean, in the long term, if you were to say to me, would you rather have had braces or not? Then I'd say yes, it is better. I think it's better in the future to kind of sort your teeth out. The only thing that I remember is that it made my teeth, really sensitive, just to touch, because obviously they're pushing them or pulling them, and I had braces, but I don't see a problem with having. Nowadays you can have braces mine were the old school ones that were like train tracks that kind of went all the way across, and but now I know you can get ones that are almost invisible. So yeah, it has moved on a bit, but yeah, I think if you want, it's something that my parents decided to do. So yeah, I think if you want to have braces, I don't see a problem with having them. But anyway, thank you for that, Jacqueline. And Jacqueline's donated again, £1.42. I'm gonna have to do this very quickly. We haven't even heard the cover video for tonight, which is going to be Free Falling. But Jacqueline says, do you have any thoughts on Britney Spears and how the music industry exploited her? Yeah, probably lots of views on this, but I think it's generally something that happened with boy bands here in the UK, probably over in USA as well, where they have a very popular product and they get that product to work as much as possible, and obviously don't give them any rights in the contracts that they've signed. And it always goes back to the illusion of fame and success and celebrity. And that's why people are willing to sign these contracts. They're not actually reading them because they are famous. They think something's good or something good is happening. And they don't realise that all of this time that they're not making any money. And by the way, I saw something on YouTube. There's a girl band here in the UK called Atomic Kitten, they were. And one of the members from that said after 3 years, and I think a lot of people in the UK will know this particular girl group, after 3 years, she was then given £36,000 for the 3 years. For the 3 years worth of having hits, being in the top 10 charts regularly, touring, going to, they had a hit in 20 different countries. So, yeah, after all of this success, the illusion is the success. After the contract is up or the singer moves on and gets dropped, they say, right, well, where's my money? And they say, oh, here you go. And they go, what? 36 grand? That's 12 grand a year for selling out stadiums and, well, maybe arenas. You know, so yeah, this is it. That's the illusion. So I'd say, yeah, I think Britney Spears probably fell into that trap. But then I think the story there is a bit more complicated because of family and I think maybe her dad getting control of all of her finances and stuff. But yeah, it's all quite complicated. And yeah, so I am going to be jumping into... Let's get into tonight's cover video. Otherwise, we're never going to get there because we are going to have a fill jam for tonight. 1,206 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. But this is my version of Free Fallin'. And we are going to end the poll. And it was Free Fallin' that won with 63% of the vote. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Then we're going to have the fill jam after this as well. So I'll see you guys in a second. Rock!
She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus and America too. She's a good girl, she's crazy about Elvis, loves horses and a boyfriend too. And it's a long day living in Reseda, and there's a freeway running through the yard. I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart. And I'm free, free falling. Yeah, I'm free, free falling.
And there we have it. That was my version of Free Falling. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And right, 10 past midnight. We are going to be jumping into the Phil Jam for tonight. So let's grab the guitar, because we were we were aiming for 400 likes, and we've got 1,222. So we just made it for tonight. I mean, it's a bit ironic. That we took the target down, and that's just the way it goes. So, right, I can see Paul says £36,000 is a lot of money. That's over 3 years. So this was the particular pop star in that group, and yes, that's £12,000 a year. And I think people maybe, I mean, you could still survive on that. Maybe, I don't know. It'd be difficult if you're paying rent anywhere anywhere close to London. So yeah. But anyway, right. What am I doing? Getting organised. Guitar on. Phil Jan number 209 minutes and 4 seconds. Okay, this is going to be a long one. This is joyful ballad style backing track guitar jam in G major in brackets Hollow Prism, and this is from Pat Matrone on YouTube. I'm just going to play this. Let me know what the levels are like, because we need to get straight into this because we're going to run out of time. Already run out of time almost. Can you hear this? Zoom out, please. Am I even zoomed in? Wasn't zoomed in anyway. Unbelievable. have it. The sudden ending that we had going on there. So that was it. We got through it. That was Joyful Ballad style backing track guitar jam in G major in brackets Hollow Prism from Pat Matrone or Pat Matrone on YouTube. So there we have it. A very long Phil Jam for tonight, but yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, laid back kind of one for tonight. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and thank you to all of you for hitting the thumbs up, ensuring that we busted out the guitar. As you could hear, we were having, it's not too bad, we were having some tuning issues. That I think it's just these strings are getting so old, or they're getting older, that the intonation is just drifting a little bit. So I was having to kind of tune a little bit halfway through to make the high E string a little bit sharper, because higher up on my E string the intonation was going ever so slightly out, slightly flat. But anyway, that's what playing live is. That these kind of things happen. You just have to deal with it. Tune your guitar in a totally random way in order for you to be able to get the intonation to sound better mid performance. So anyway, there we go. Thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night. Look out for that one. We're going to be having another live stream Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, as always. So if you guys can tune in again, that would be very much appreciated, so we can hit our likes goal. I'm not sure whether we're going to smash it like we have tonight with 1,243, but yeah, that would be nice. So yeah, hopefully you guys can join me on Tuesday. All that's left for me to say is, I've got to get through these donations just quickly before we finish, because I'm going to have to scroll up here. Jennifer donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, my band would be the Funk Brothers. You can play keyboards, laugh out loud. Thank you for that. 1968 Daz has donated $5 and says, Phil, I would love to hear your thoughts on the late Malcolm Young. So thank you for that. Yeah, this is the problem, that I did a video on Malcolm literally years ago, and unfortunately I think that's been blocked on copyrights. And this is what happens sometimes. Videos that you've made in the past then get removed and get blocked. So yeah, there's a bit of a shame in that particular case. But Elaine's donated $2, so thank you for that. And the message is, TikTok Joe gave you a lengthy Phil Jam. Jan donated 20 Norwegian kroner. It says, hey you, thank you for that, Jan. Paul donated $10 saying, for the tip jar, most excellent jam. So thank you for that, Paul. Diamond God donated $5 and said, beautifully played, Phil, thank you. So thank you. And Tammy's donated $10 and says, thank you for the beautiful Phil Jam. So thank you for that, and thank you guys for tuning in tonight. So I will catch you guys at tomorrow night's video, and then live on Tuesday night again. If you can join me, that'd be very much appreciated. All that's left for me to say try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Yeah, and have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!